Welcome, everybody, to a special safety in training podcast all about safety in training. Martial arts training, that is. We're bringing a scary true story of a guy who trained too hard, and when he competed, he ended up killing everybody with just one punch. This guy trained. He did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 of something else. And man, when he got in there, it was too much. So we're going to talk about safety in training and not to overtrain. Because when you're doing competition martial arts, you're not supposed to kill your opponent. So you can't overtrain to the point where you're killing them with one strike.
No, I love your enthusiasm, and normally I'd let you go, but I have to stop you this time because, like, One Punch Man has got to be one of my favorite shows, and you are ruining it.
Well, you know, I only watched one episode, so
all right. At least you watched it.
But it was
One Punch Man is freaking awesome.
100 push-ups.
Yep.
100 sit-ups.
He did 100 squats,
100
and then he
squats.
also ran like 10 kilometers. Like, it's not actually that big of a workout.
Every day.
Every day.
And then somehow,
He lost all of his hair because he trained so hard.
just by doing that stuff.
Just by doing, well, they never really got into it. And then, he's bored with everything because he's too strong. He's just bored.
Yeah, the episode I saw was sad because all the people he was defeating, it wasn't a challenge. But then there was an opponent that was challenging him. And it was this fight, and this guy was getting the upper hand. He was even bleeding, and he was loving it.
Yeah.
But then he woke up, and it was a dream. And he was back to being depressed.
Yeah, it was the mole people.
So we got to talk about, not overtraining so you could actually, there's safety. It's your opponent's safety.
I mean, I don't know. See, later they actually came at it in the show with a guy who was naturally gifted. And so the guy was insanely good. And, but he was just as good as One Punch Man, right? Well, I mean, not really. But anyways, so the thing was he was also never defeated, but he loved it.
Okay.
So he didn't train until he actually fought Saitama once. And then he got owned, and he was like, oh, maybe I should train.
Yep. So, One Punch Man. I thought I would give that one a shot today.
We'll cover cartoons.
Yeah.
Hell
but welcome, everybody. The real podcast is about all things safety. We are the evil safety
babies.
dudes.
Oh, wait, what? We didn't change it from last time?
No.
The evil safety mamas.
Babysitting mom. No, it
Hot,
sounds like
hot safety mamas.
It sounds like we're babysitting mommies.
Well,
like if their comma's in the right place,
cute
we're
safety people.
We don't babysit mommies, but we act as a mommy to people sometimes.
Give me your buddy.
As we're babysitting them as well.
You want to try it again?
Sure.
We are the evil safety dudes. Hot baby mamas. I can't stop myself. It'll make sense. If you listen to the last podcast, it'll make more sense.
Well, not the hot part.
That's implied.
There's no hot
if
baby
I'm there,
mamas.
it's implied.
That you're a hot baby mama?
I'm a hot evil safety baby mama.
Okay. So we are not the hot mamas.
We are coming to you from the IBC podcast Safety Fort, which I decided today I got to come up with all the forts. So it's the 40 fortified fort that I spend a fortnight in.
It's a traditional fort. Like,
I mean,
if your
it's made
kids
out of
were to make a
blankets.
fort,
you
would understand what we're in right now. We're in
your
I
living
wouldn't
room.
call it ghetto because we have matching blankets.
Yeah.
Normally when a kid makes a blanket, it's 5 different
It's not
blankets.
po-folk.
We got, straight up brand new moving blankets.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
Moving blankets.
Yeah, that's what they are, And
Yeah, it's a cute little fort. I like it.
Yeah,
For the evil safety baby mama.
Sounds okay.
Hot safety baby guy.
But we are about all things occupational health and safety, and our real, true topic today is new construction safety, new safety person, just new.
That's why I've been saying baby this whole time. Now I figured it out.
When you are new at safety, man, it's a learning curve, and I'm excited because we got a super special guest. And before we bring him on, what's new with you, AJ?
Evil safety babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
No. It's just, my usual. I'm wrapping up my big commission for a buddy of mine, Paint His Gene Stealer Cult. Just topped off the last batch of acolytes, last batch of neophytes, working on the aberrants, and it's just got a little bit of painting to go, and then I could finally be done with this last commission because over the last year I've picked up models for myself that I want to assemble and start painting on, but I kind of, if I have a job currently, I'm not working on any of my own stuff so that, I don't just not finish.
Right.
So
And that's nice. I'm
this
sure
has
they
been
appreciate
very,
that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's taken me a year to finish this. I'm way over schedule, but yeah, I'm very excited
Our guest
to get it
speaker
done.
might know what you're talking about.
Ooh.
He still doesn't shake it.
So, well, that's what I've been up to. How about you, Aaron? What have you been up to?
Man, this is a busy month. For my other job, we got a guy competing in MMA in Omaha.
Oh, dang. What's he competing? Oh, it's just MMA. Sorry.
Just MMA. That's
No,
it.
I was going to be like boxing or like
Well, we got
jiu-jitsu.
3 people competing in Minnesota in boxing this month.
Okay.
And one of our guys is fighting the 5th guy in the country right now.
Oh, dang.
And so if he wins, his rankings are going to go through the roof.
So you don't get to become the new 5th guy. Your rankings just go up.
Yeah. It's if you beat a better opponent, your rankings go higher. If you take
sure.
a bunch of low-ranked opponents, you're not really climbing the scale.
I think you should just get to skip to that spot. Be
Yeah.
like, all right, if I beat number 5, I am number 5.
Number 5 now.
Yeah. But then
And
if you lose to number 20, like that's it. Down you go.
Yeah. And then we also have a guy competing in Lombard, Illinois this month in kickboxing. So I'm going with him to that to corner him and tape his hands and all that. Looking forward to that show. It's been a while since I've been at a kickboxing show.
Dude, it's going to be intense.
Yeah, it's going to be an intense month.
Is
Plus,
it going
we
to
got
flash you back to your kickboxing days?
Well, I kickbox 3 days a week, so I'm always having flashbacks and can't walk and sore. But and then
Aaron lives a life full of flashbacks.
And then we have a special seminar this month too. So, it's going to be a busy month for us. Yeah. Cool. Well, we always
bring our guest in.
Yeah, because
we got it.
I want to.
Here he is.
And it's exciting.
He's been smiling at me for a while here.
So, can you introduce yourself, pretty please?
Yeah. So thanks for having me, guys. I'm Braeden Banzhaf. I am the safety coordinator for
hot baby safety mama.
Yeah. Sorry. And I'm not an evil safety dude yet. I'm still working on the evil. But still
cultivating mass.
But yeah, safety.
It's getting there.
Safety dude, baby mama. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it.
So, say your last name again.
So last name's Banzhaf.
I'm
If
gonna
you look
get that
at it,
down.
if you look at it, it's gonna throw you off. But
yeah, no, it's not an easy one.
Banzhaf.
yeah, the Z. You throw the Z's in there, and it gets.
And there's like U's.
I mean, no U's in my name, but yeah, Z's
no.
and U's combo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's
And this is not your first time recording a podcast, if I understand.
that is correct. So a couple of my friends and I did a little. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe like a sports / entertainment /
Cool.
pop culture / podcast
Cool.
type thing. So it was fun. It lasted for 10 episodes or so, and ended up having a kid during that time. So
Okay.
time
Podcast
thank
ended.
you.
Yeah.
Time got a little scarce, so
Yeah.
podcast came to an end. But it was fun, and glad you guys invited me on to be a part
Heck
of
yeah.
the Evil Safety Dudes.
Yeah. So when you say you're not an evil safety dude yet, does that mean you're still nice, or does that mean that the people are not looking at you as that kind of authority figure that's going to bust them yet? Which route are you going with?
See,
that?
I think it may be a little of both. So just listening to some of your guys' other episodes, I did come from kind of like out in the field,
Right.
And then brought on into the safety world.
Right.
So I was able to work with a lot of these guys, like hand in hand. We are going to dominate today. We are going to dig this trench.
We're gonna dig the heck out of this trench.
Yes.
Hey, I gotta stop the podcast too, Aaron. This is living, breathing proof. We have one listener of our podcast.
Yes. Awesome.
Woo! Yes,
Nice.
and I enjoy it. I download it, make sure I listen every time a new episode comes out, and that's just not me trying to pump you guys up. Like that is
We'll take it.
that is the truth. So.
I'll be honest, I don't need any more pats on the back. I will tell myself I'm amazing. It's all right.
I think it's always better when a safety professional comes from the tools, as they say. When
Yeah.
they come from the being with the guys, because
Right.
they can't pull one over on you anymore on how they do it, because you did it with them.
Yep.
Right, and now being in the safety role, it does help kind of being able to live that part.
Right.
Be out there with them, kind of know what the real life situations are
Yes.
that come with
Yeah.
certain situations out in the field. So I think that is one thing that has helped me through all of this. But
Right.
then you get into that weird, hey, we were we were good friends, and you get the friendship aspect.
Yeah,
But
they stop talking once you walk onto the site.
yes.
You're the man now. You're
Yeah.
the man.
Yes.
Suddenly you're kind of management.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is good though. Like you not only had to learn the rules, but now you also know their troubles.
Right.
So I mean, that's great that you can apply that for them.
When a safety person teaches safety, but they don't really even know what the people do that they're talking to, I don't really think they could be very effective because they're not it's not relevant and pertinent. They're not saying, all right, here's what we do, here's the rule, so this is how we're going to do it to comply with the rule. That's good stuff. So you actually could do that now coming from, the trade.
Right. And everything in that OSHA book is right, but sometimes it's more of a sorry.
Hang on a second.
OSHA's happy with you.
Yeah.
You
See, I'm
scored
just
some
trying
points
to
with
here
OSHA.
we are. This is where I'm trying to become more evil. I'm just trying to make everyone happy here and be like, hey, OSHA's great. Hey,
OSHA's-
the evil safety dudes are
They're
great.
so great. Everything they ever said was right.
Yeah, and
I love it.
There's just some stuff in there that it's all fine and dandy, but in the real world it may not
Yeah.
maybe make as much sense or
Right.
be the most efficient way to go about things. So just having that in-field time, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
just is helping me a little bit that way.
One of the challenges, though, that comes from that, in my experience, is when you go from one of the guys to safety, is then they're like, well, how dare you say don't do this anymore when you were doing it last month or last year?
I just saw you do this.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think the biggest thing is, again, going back to one of your guys' episodes, you guys talked about, we all know the rules, like we all know common sense, and we can be the guy that comes in and says, hey, you can't do this. But then they come back at you with, okay, safety guy, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of the hardest part for me is, like I know when something's not safe or not,
Sure.
things aren't going the right way, but then it's that giving them a solution on how to fix it.
Right.
What's the most efficient way? What's
Yeah, now
the
it's your
quickest.
job to answer the question.
Yes,
Ugh.
and making sure you're not looking like a dummy.
Yeah.
So
Because I've done that. Foot in mouth, look like a
Oh,
dummy,
yeah.
call out the problem, ask for a solution, don't have it. Now I just look like a safety cop jerk, and I hate that. I want to present solutions. And when you're the safety guy of the company,
Right.
you got to keep them going
right,
just safely. And I think that's a big, big challenge. I remember one time I've been the safety guy on site, construction site, for maybe a little over a year. Project's wrapping up. And so they're pulling out the superintendent and the project manager to go start another big project. And they're like, Aaron, we're leaving you. Finish up this job. It's only about a month.
So you had to be both.
I had to be the superintendent and the safety guy. And you know which one died first?
Safety guy.
The safety guy.
Yeah.
I was really ashamed of myself.
Man, that'd be hard though.
When I got deadlines and when I got production goals and I'm worried about bids and rework and all of this stuff and, oh, you're holding us up. We can't do this till you guys do this. Get it done right away. And, you're having the contractor meetings and the general's yelling at you. And then all of a sudden I'm out there, hurry up, get this done and do that and do that. Well, but we can't do it the safe way. Well, that's all right. Just get it. And then I'm like, oh, my goodness.
No. I've become one of them.
I am a terrible hypocrite. And it was
Somebody
really
just came over and stole your evil card.
yeah, it was really a good eye opener for me that what they go through. So then that helped me kind of craft my own style of safety where I want to marry production and safety, and that's when I think you can be the most effective as a safety guy. But since we're talking about all things new safety, let's talk about the learning curve. I don't know if you had the same experience I did, but when I got my first safety job, the owner said, okay, you're hired now, go do safety.
Like with the hand motion just
Go
sweeping you away.
Yeah, get out of my office.
Shoo.
I gave you an office. I gave you a computer. Go do safety. And I had no idea what to do. And there was no one to ask. You go to HR. Hey, I'm the new safety guy. The boss said do safety. What is it that I do? Oh yeah. You just make sure everything's safe.
Right.
Yeah,
Actually, it sounds so simple.
yeah.
Just make sure everything's safe.
Go to a foreman, go to a project manager, go to superintendent. Hey, I'm a new safety guy. I'm supposed to do safety. You got any points for me? Oh, safety. Bleh.
Yeah,
Just
go
stay out of
away.
my way.
Yeah.
You
Go
know,
away.
go back to the owner. Yeah. What safety things should I be doing? The safety stuff. OSHA. So I was self-taught. What was your experience? We don't want you to throw your company under the bus too much.
Yeah.
But I like to hear people's safety origin story.
Right. Yeah, and so if you work at PSC or know anybody from PSC, this is the part where you cover your ears. But no, it's so PSC is kind of a family-owned business.
Nice.
There's only about 40 employees throughout the entire company, so it's not a super big company by any means. I'd been working with PSC for about a year and a half when they first approached me about becoming the safety guy, and
So they approached you,
yes,
which
yep.
is cool though.
Yeah, and I mean that meant a lot to me that they thought highly enough of me, I guess,
Right.
to trust me with
Heck yeah.
something so important as being the safety guy of the company. But they made the transition really easy for me. They kind of let me. There was about a week or 2 week span where it was just kind of a introduction. Kind of this is what's the day by day is. This is how.
So they actually had stuff to educate you on.
Yeah, and like they had.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, they had.
I'm jealous.
They
man.
made-
direction.
They made it pretty easy, and then
They told you what to do, even.
I mean, to the point of just to kind of get me in the right direction.
Like-
and-
Yeah.
Go out and do audits and
right. And
figure out training
And that's great though. Like a company actually had an idea of what they wanted for safety, so
Yes.
they already had a little bit of a layout for you.
Right.
That's pretty great actually, because you don't usually get to hear that.
yeah.
right. And then
Go do OSHA.
and then like shortly after getting started, started working with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting some trainings and stuff just to get a little more under my belt when it came to the safety world. And to this day, still meeting up with Aaron eventually, or
Yep.
every now and then, doing
Yep.
some trainings, and AJ on occasion. So
I don't need any more pats on the back. I'm already full of myself enough as it is.
okay, sorry, that was the last one. I swear.
So
No, really don't.
was were you the first safety guy of the company? Were
Us-
they just launching this safety program?
No, so I was not the first safety guy.
So that probably helped out.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and all the previous safety guys before had kind of
Had died
had their touch on the had passed away. R.I.P.
on the site.
Yeah. And they all had kind of their hands in kind of how the safety program kind of worked.
Right.
With, I don't know if that's either like the handbook and safety manual. They had a good hand in that. So I think the foundation was there for me already, which I
Nice.
think would have been the hardest part, especially jumping in
Mhm.
brand new. But no, I think they've kind of gave me a good opportunity to at least excel in this field, and meeting with you guys has been nothing but helpful. So excited. It's been a year now that I've been doing this. so-
Congratulations.
Yes.
You've made it 1 year without getting fired.
Yes. So let's
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's keep
Not-
that up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
plastic. It's not going to help.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately. Terribly
so-
sorry.
Plastic table.
it's cool to have some infrastructure to work off of.
Absolutely.
And then as you get going and get your bearings, then you start to tweak it yourself and clean it up and make it better. Sometimes it's a bad thing if the people before you didn't really know what they're doing and you're just following that, but it's not right yet, but you're just trusting that they did it right. But then with time you catch those things. Sometimes, it could seem easier to build it from scratch than to fix something. Have you had to build anything from scratch yet?
Not necessarily build anything, but after meeting with you guys, one of my trainings was over a safety committee.
Okay.
sure.
So that is actually in the works, and we are
Nice.
looking to have our first safety committee meeting
Nice.
before the end of the
yeah.
year. So
Cool.
I think that'll be a good.
If I had like a little party horn,
Yeah.
now would
Yeah.
be the
I
appropriate
need the
time.
sound effect.
Exactly.
We'll
Yeah,
just make
and-
them with their mouth.
so I've been working with
Braden didn't do it.
Kind of. Oh, you want me to do the horn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's broken. I
Cool.
think. But
It's
It was a
running out
kazoo.
of
Little
compressed
kazoo.
air.
That's right.
but yeah, so I was working with our HR lady, trying to get all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
organized, and unfortunately she ended up leaving, so we're waiting
Okay.
for a new HR person.
Oh,
but once
yeah.
we get that taken care of, safety committee will be
Time to build.
full steam ahead.
I
and,
love it.
Cool. Do you got an agenda yet for the meetings?
No agenda yet.
Okay, I have a template.
And I think I do have that. I think you
Okay.
did give me
All
that.
right, cool.
Just something to go off of.
It's really helpful to have a form and a fashion instead of just,
Yeah, and
just
especially
winging it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I've never been a part of one. Never.
Last time I tried to wing it, our agenda became take over the other committees.
Let's
we
go.
were successful.
Yeah.
And the safety committee was the only one left. We had too much power. We had to just
Way too much power.
Yeah,
Yes.
had to get rid of that.
Well, that's cool. So you're starting up safety committee.
Yeah.
And then how about adjusting previous infrastructure? Have you ever had to tweak a safety training schedule or go into a policy and add or take out something? You had to work on anything yet?
Yeah. So just this year, we've been trying to start scheduling stuff year out. So throughout the year, have different trainings every month, at least one. Like we'll get together one Saturday. Like right now, we're doing. I think it started in July. We did a rigging.
Oh,
part
cool.
one rigging,
Nice.
little
Excellent.
collage, I guess. And
Nice.
and
rigging collage.
rigging collage. Yeah,
Yes.
like build it. And make
Yeah,
it really
this
nice.
is my rigging collage.
Uh,
Hang it in my
defi-
living room.
Definitely the wrong word I was looking for, but
Nope, that's what it's called from now
We're
on.
gonna go with
that was,
rigging collage.
PowerPoint.
that was the best word.
Help me
you.
out.
Thank you. But so it's a 2-part deal. So we'll finish it up this month, and then
Nice, man.
do some fall arrest stuff
Nice.
in the next couple months. And
Yeah, when you've been bad at falling, you must be arrested.
correct.
Yes, you get the
Yes.
fall police.
Jail.
They will fall arrest you. Yeah, it's bad.
It's Monopoly.
Yeah,
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
And then when you're a repeat offender, it's a personal fall arrest.
it's a
Yes.
personal. Well, yeah, it's
Yep.
because I had beef with that person.
Yeah.
I had to personally fall arrest them.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the other kind of fall arrest, that comes between summer arrest and winter arrest.
I see what you did
And
there.
then when
I see
you
that.
and then when you get fed up with the system, then it's the personal fall arrest system. You become a fall arrest anarchist.
Well, you
Going
form a
against the
band called
system.
Personal Fall Arrest System of a Down.
Rage against the personal fall arrest system.
Wait,
That's fantastic.
yes, welcome to our podcast.
Yes.
So
Mind if I put Braeden on the spot?
go for it.
Let's go.
I just
Well, you should
oh,
ask him,
oh.
not me. Yes.
mind if I put Braeden on? Braeden, do you mind if I put you on the spot? Excellent.
Yes, but I want the because usually when Aaron asks you a question, it's the
Oh, okay.
But I
Okay,
want
well,
that
since he's
before-
asking the question, he has to do
Okay,
the
that's-
music.
that's
Well, it's not that kind of a question, but if I
Oh,
come
okay.
up with one,
Okay.
we'll do it. We'll have to go full metal on you.
Okay,
But no, I was just wondering, like,
But AJ, you're being a bad host. If the guest wants you to do a jingle before you ask a question,
even if it's not a jingle or
you,
even if it's not a
you
question.
should just oblige him. You made him do the air horn.
it's true.
Okay.
Dun, 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 the Braeden Zone.
There it is. There it is.
Welcome to the Braeden Zone.
Okay, so for this question in the Braeden Zone,
Yes.
I was wondering, have you had any personal experiences before we get too far away from what we already kind of opened up with you? Have you had a situation you could tell us a little story, and if not, then we'll just move on, which is fine. But anybody ask you, like, or you come down or have a safety question, and then you had to figure out an answer, like on the spot, somebody who just, hey, how do we move this truck? You're like, you can't do that. That's illegal. And they're like, okay, safety guy.
And
what do we do?
honestly, no, not
that's
to
actually
where
pretty
they've
handy.
came up and be like, or I've maybe approached them saying, "Hey, you can't jump off that 10-foot building. Like, what are you doing?"
You have to flip off
and
of
then
it,
they tell me,
obviously.
"Well, why not?"
Right.
But
that's
honestly,
pretty
yeah, I had
fortunate.
not had that interaction yet, I guess. But definitely
cool.
something on my mind at all times.
I
just
was thinking in a year, man. Yeah, my first couple of months doing safety, I would walk around and be like, okay, that's wrong. But if I open my big fat mouth, I'm going to have to find out how to fix it.
right.
So then I would like take pictures of stuff and go back and then come back after research being like, okay, we can't do this, but this is how we can do it now. So I was just curious.
Yeah.
How in the field, if you had anything
that could
interesting
speak
come up.
to the culture too, because if you point out something that's wrong and they already know it's wrong, they're not going to fight with you because maybe they had that previous knowledge.
Yeah.
Have you had to actually do that, to go up to somebody older and bigger, who's been in the trade longer, and say, "You're doing that wrong."
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir?
Sir.
Hello?
Have you had to do that yet?
So I guess not super severe, just kind of a PPE type deal where
Right.
this guy's
Sure.
been in the construction business for longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
I've got
kind
that speech.
of rough around the edges, and
No.
didn't think it was a good idea to wear his hard hat.
Oh, sure.
So kindly approached him and
Kindly.
see, this is where the evil needs to start
There
creeping in.
it is.
And it's like, hey, how's it going? Good. Whatever his name is. And
What do you want?
exactly. And I'm like, hey,
What?
we do need to be wearing our hard hat. You mind putting that on for me? What are you gonna do about it?
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I do mind.
I'd fight.
That's what he
I'd
said
fight
to you?
but I can't because I'm not strong enough.
That's what he said to you?
Yeah, he just like, what are you gonna do about it? I'm like,
Really?
well, it's either you put it on or
Wow,
we
that's-
go home. And he's like, you can't send me home. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
yeah, I
unfortunately,
can.
that's
But
kind of actually where my position exists.
he's like, you want to do that? I'm like, try me. I was thinking that
I
in
like
my head,
it.
but
Yeah. Go ahead, punk.
But-
Make my day.
But eventually, after like a 45-minute talk back and forth.
Oh,
and,
geez.
Wow,
he
that
put his
one
hard
went
hat
on.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
That was a serious argument.
But
After he put forth some good ideas,
Yeah,
and,
so-
and I had a good rebuttal,
And then we took it to the committee.
we made some tea.
We each brought a representative.
Yeah.
I like this. This is mediation here. We're getting into safety mediation.
yes, we are.
But no, so end of the story, you got him into some PPE and,
Yeah, and it is always kind of an awkward situation, especially when you're going up to somebody who's maybe older, has more experience, may know more about what they're doing than you do.
Yeah, for sure.
You may not know exactly the ins and outs of it, but you do know that, hey, safety,
Yeah.
like we have to
You
do
know they
this
got to wear
when
a
it
hard
comes to
hat.
this.
You
Yeah.
know that's
Yes.
the site rule.
Yes.
Right.
You may not know how to pour that concrete.
And that's
You
the
know?
other thing. We have so many crews on different sites where, like, just for instance, one site will be, they'll have designated smoke areas, like just
Okay,
little things
sure.
like that. And then we have another site that we're at where it's 100% tobacco free, like no
Wow.
tobacco
No
at all.
smoking.
So it's like just weird.
No
And you
smoking.
gotta,
like that,
And
where-
you got to
yeah.
enforce that too.
Yeah. So no smokers, no dippers, no.
No smoking, so I'm not
They
allowed
can't
on
even-
site at all.
They can't.
Yes,
they,
I'm a smoking hot safety guy.
they can't even
Baby
dip.
mama.
Baby mama.
I've never seen that.
Yeah.
No
so-
tobacco-free construction.
yeah. And
Interesting.
Like, and the site is, I mean, it's everything needs to be clean. It's,
Oh, it's like food safety or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because dip's pretty nasty.
It is kind of.
Spitballs over there.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you made it through your first one of those, and it sounded like you hit the ground running. Where you see, that was a straight up challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That wasn't like, cause see, I've told a guy to put his hard hat on, and he was on the roof, and it was not construction. He was maintaining an HVAC system. And I'm like, put your hard hat on, it's company rule. And he's like, why? What's going to fall on me? And I'm
Right.
like, well, nothing. But it's the company rule.
Zero
And they
things.
asked me to enforce the rule. And but it was like like, why, Aaron? Why should I? There's no real reason to. But what you ran into was a straight up, like,
What are you gonna do about it?
yeah.
You think
yeah.
you're some kind of tough guy?
But that's how, that's how you, that's baptism by fire right there.
Right. And and for those of you at home that don't know me or can't see me, I am 6'3", like 225. and those of you that know AJ, you guys wouldn't be scared of me. Like AJ is nothing.
Over the radio, Braden's awesome. He's much more like into safety. He's becoming so evil.
That's right.
We should go Super Saiyan safety.
Super Saiyan safety.
Yeah, where like you see
You pronounce
somebody
that.
not wearing their hard hat, and you're just like, rah, rah, and I grow hair all of a sudden, it gets blonde and it sticks up, and get
I like how he has to grow hair first.
yeah, well, Vegeta was bald, well, he had the racing stripes, he had a receding hairline.
That was GT. That doesn't count.
So
That's been retconned.
I'm the Vegeta of safety.
Well, you,
And,
you could be going gray like
He's
me.
the
so-
Krillin of safety, which still actually means a lot, though. Krillin was the strongest human being on Earth. So
I'm more like Vegeta. But
Yes, you are.
so, but yeah, sometimes you got to bristle up when you're talking to
Yeah.
a bristly person.
Right.
And it's hard to do that sometimes. You know, when you want to be cool, you know, because there's no real reason to be the cop, but some people make you. Like that guy was making you.
Right.
He wasn't letting you be the cool coach anymore. He was making you be the evil safety dude.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like, "Come on, evil safety dude. Are you gonna do your job?" He was like straight up challenging you.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, have you ever had a challenge since then?
Not really. And like I said, it's nothing ever super serious or hardcore. It's more like little things that it's either a company rule or a site rule that may not be everywhere, but for this site, like we need to do it this way, and they sometimes forget. So it's just a little reminder, hey, can't be doing that. Got to be doing this.
Awesome.
I want to talk about the learning curve of coming into safety. People don't understand that aren't in safety. I mean, so, did you have any background in safety before you started at the company?
No, I did not. So I actually, my degree is in turfgrass management.
Cool.
So all you turfgrass management listeners out there,
Wow.
shout out to you guys.
Separate podcast.
Oh,
we should do
yeah,
one
wrong
just
podcast.
on-
There's just
sorry.
like right
Yeah.
now, there's an empty room with our podcast playing in it and crickets chirping.
we should do one on. See, I grew up in Southern California,
turfgrass?
and
Turfgrass management. Yeah.
it was a big deal where I grew up. You could get a sick, high-paying job being a manager of a golf course. I grew up in the golf capital of the United States.
Right.
And to be the guy who runs that course and keeps that grass right, you were paid a lot of money, and it was a college degree.
Right. And that was the main goal for me, was get my degree, get on a golf course somewhere, become a superintendent at a country
Cool.
club, and
Well, I think
live the
you're
dream.
in the wrong
Right off
part
into
of
the
the
sunset.
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, sort of.
If you moved to Palm Springs, California, you would be like, you could land one of those jobs.
Yeah, but then you have to live in California.
All my not all my buddies, but a lot of buddies that caddied, because
Right.
you make a lot of money.
Sure do.
You know, you're a kid. You know, you got these rich dudes, and they'll pay you, and they'll tip you fat. And you just carry around their clubs. It's like super easy job. And if you got good, like Will Smith in the movies, where you could like encourage them spiritually and tell them which iron to pick, then you could like move up. But you don't even have to know anything just to carry people's golf clubs
Right.
around.
Right.
So yeah, it was a big
But yeah,
deal.
so definitely no safety background coming into this.
Nothing in turf management covered OSHA, not like chemical safety.
Yeah, I mean,
or,
you had your basic chemical fertilizer safety.
okay,
Hey, don't mix this and this, or we are going to have a big
bomb.
boom.
Excellent.
But or don't get this on your skin because you will. I did spill some Roundup on my back once. I was using a backpack sprayer.
Okay, because I was
It
wondering
ended
how
up-
you got Roundup on your back, but
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Well,
And-
it's round. It's round up.
Roundup.
Yeah.
Right.
Then
It's
it-
not front down,
But it did go down.
it's round up.
Oh no.
And that happened in the morning. Didn't think anything of it. Got home, had all these blisters and
Oh,
stuff on my
no.
back. So it's like, oh, maybe I should have washed that off, or maybe I should have made sure that rubber stopper was actually doing its job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so a little bit of safety, but nothing.
Yeah, nothing that prepared
1926.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
for construction safety management.
Yes.
So, what can you recall the first subject you had to actually like learn in safety?
I know, like, so just starting there, you had to get your OSHA 10. It's kind of
Okay.
a company thing. Like, you start, you get your OSHA 10. Then one of the main things I wanted to get, and the company made sure I wanted that I got, was the OSHA 30. So I met with you guys, got
Yeah.
the OSHA 30. And then, I mean, we just kept doing some trainings, just trying to bump my knowledge on the safety field. So nothing like in particular that
Right,
we
right.
actually focused on, but just trying to get a broad understanding of,
Yeah, and
and get as
that's
much as
good.
I can before. But ultimately, get the OSHA 500 series.
Nice.
That is the end goal. So
That's cool.
Have you started?
Well, it shouldn't be your
Have
end
not-
goal.
I mean,
your
the
next goal.
The next main goal is OSHA
no. Once he
500
does
series.
that, that's it.
that's
Yeah,
done.
then I
He's-
can
yeah.
retire.
He's
Yeah.
he's arrived.
Let's go.
He'll just hang out in a lawn chair on every job site, and safety will happen.
Yeah.
That'd be all right.
I remember my first subject I had to learn was lockout tagout.
Sure.
There was these guys who couldn't go work on a site unless we had documentation that they had been through lockout tagout training. And so that was my job,
Yeah.
safety, brand new, but I don't know what lockout tagout is.
Right.
So that was my first learning curve. Like, what? I got to do what? What's that?
What is
I got to
lockout
train
tagout?
people on that? You know?
Yep.
So I remember that's kind of like before I got an OSHA 30 even.
Sure.
You know, because if I had the OSHA 30 or the OSHA 10, I at least would have known.
Something.
Right,
man,
and-
like it-
Well, maybe not if it was construction.
Yeah,
They
it
don't really
depends.
talk about lockout,
Well,
tagout.
and now that you say that, like excavation and trenching is a big part of what we do as a company. So
Right.
that was a big emphasis on, like, hey, spoils need to be 2 feet back from your open trench.
Right, right.
Just and then having been in the field and dealing with that stuff, it did help kind of understand what some of the slang was, like
Right.
just the different terminology. And okay, so that when they do this happens, and we have to make sure this and this go with this. So
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine whatever your company does, that's usually like the first things you're learning. You
Right.
know, unless it's like in my case, which was kind of like a fire. Like, these guys can't go on site till they have this class. Fix this. You know, and at that time it was like, okay, I could Google and I could give me the company card and I'm buying a lockout tagout DVD.
Right.
You know, and
But you were like expected to teach something that you didn't really even know.
I didn't, and I remember the HR lady like asking me, like, you know, and I was trying to be cool, you know, like, do you even know what lockout tagout is? I'm like, yeah, it's like locks and like tags. Like,
I have my lock in my pocket and my name tag.
I was like,
He's locked
I
out.
have some of those tags here, and they were actually danger do not use tags for busted machines. They
good.
weren't actually lockout tagout tags. And then that's how she busted me. She's like, those aren't lockout tagout tags, and I'm like,
crap.
really?
I was testing
There's
you.
other tags? Like, I didn't, you know, you don't know unless you know. And that's what's crazy about safety is I always say it's like being a vet. You know,
sure.
a vet, they got to know stuff.
I'm not sure where he's even going with this one.
You have never heard me do this
I'm ready
analogy?
for this ride.
I've worked with Aaron for years. And
Really?
it's like being a vet. I'm over here like
It's hardcore. It's such like being a vet. If you're an MD,
It's only people.
it's you got to know children, you know, male and female, like the developmental stages of kids and how their bodies are different from fully grown adults. And then you have to know like old men and women because their bodies have changed. But it's all the same species, just the male and the female version
Sure.
of different ages. But a vet, man, you know, you're bringing me your turtle.
Let's crack
and
him
then,
open.
And then you're bringing me your hamster. And then this other guy's bringing me a guinea pig. And this person bringing me a cat and then a dog and then a horse and then a pig. And they're all different. Like
I'd be a terrible vet.
cats
Yeah,
have
there's
2
no way.
aortas, man. And it's like you could, you know, and the dosages and meds and like each species has its own quirks. And like you got to know stuff, right? You got to like know a lot about a lot of things. And that's how safety is.
Right.
Let's brainstorm some subjects a safety person should know. I'll just say the first one: lockout, tagout. What else? What else you guys got?
I don't know anything about safety.
Let's-
Me either. I thought this was about Chuck E. Cheese.
You sure you don't want to do the Ask Braeden hour?
Well, it's
I already forgot my jingle.
Ask Braeden and AJ, so I got to come up with a different one. Ask Braeden and AJ.
Yeah, let's go.
That's right.
All right, so topics the safety guys got to know about: lockout, tagout.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say PPE.
Yeah,
That's- I like
PPE,
that.
which
I like that.
in and of itself is like 10 subjects. I
Good
mean,
thing I only know like
100
4
subjects.
of them. I mean, all 100.
Well, because respiratory protection is like big, and that's
Right.
and fall protection's PPE, and that's big.
Right.
You know, there's like PPE's like loaded.
Right. So that's why it's cheating.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can
just-
say anything later.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I said PPE.
What else? What else?
Well, I said
Um,
one now.
What about like bloodborne pathogens?
Oh yeah, you got to know about.
I say
man,
it's PPE.
Would you group that with PPE?
Yeah, it's under PPE.
Okay. Fine.
PPE's got to be covered in bloodborne pathogens. But yeah, if you're a legit safety guy and someone asks you a bloodborne pathogen question, you got to know that stuff.
Yep.
You can't be like, I don't even worry about it. There's probably no infectious diseases in it. Just clean up with your hand and then pick your nose. You'll be all right. You know.
I'd say hearing protection, but that's PPE.
Yeah. Hearing,
That's fair. I could go
hearing
with that.
conservation.
I could go with that.
No, like it's a required. Hearing conservation is a big one from OSHA.
That's a yearly.
Yeah.
Machine guarding.
Machine guarding. That goes with your lockout tag out.
Yep,
But then
yep.
if you're going to go lockout tag out, all right, you automatically have to say confined spaces.
Confined spaces. If you're a safety guy, you got to know About confined spaces.
Yeah, one way in, one way out.
Yeah. Oh no! I'm melting.
I feel like the space isn't big enough for me and my gigantic muscles. It's a confined space.
It's a confined.
It's a
Every
confined
room I
space.
walk into is a confined space.
That's right.
All right.
Auditorium.
So like this,
space.
like this fort then.
Yeah,
yes,
it's confined space.
For sure.
Yes. But there's a million. We're not doing a very good job. We're
No,
gonna come
I'm
up with
mostly
6.
making jokes and being terrible.
Scaffold.
Ladders.
If you're a safety guy, you gotta know about scaffolding.
I mean, it depends.
Well, if your company does it.
Yeah, you could write a policy. We will never use scaffolding.
Yeah.
You just write your way out of it.
Ladders,
Heavy equipment,
heavy equipment.
powered industrial trucks,
Yeah, forklifts.
scissor lift, boom lift,
Yeah, aerial lifts.
What about fire prevention?
fire
yeah,
prevention,
I mean,
fire
totally. You got to
protection,
know about all of that stuff.
emergency action planning.
Isn't that annual too?
There are annual requirements in fire and emergency action
Yeah,
planning.
yeah.
Right.
You got to know like all this stuff. I mean, that was probably
HAZCOM.
10 or 12. Yeah, chemical safety. You know, if you're the safety guy, you got to know what a safety data sheet is.
Yeah.
If you're like, I am a safety guy.
I'm
Like,
so
oh yeah,
surprised.
what's a
I've
safety
never
data
heard of a
sheet? And you're
safety
like,
data
I
sheet.
don't know.
I love how we call them SDS sheets
Yeah,
because it's just safety
Safety
data sheet.
I
data
don't know what that
sheet
second is.
sheets.
Safety data sheet.
Yeah,
cheat.
We should just call them SD sheets.
yeah. We'll start
like
it.
that.
We're gonna,
SD sheets.
We're gonna
I like that.
correct everybody.
Yes. It's not going to catch on.
Yeah,
It might.
We'll become more evil. Now
The
we're like
evil's growing.
evil grammar safety dude.
Welcome to my podcast about SD sheets.
SD sheets. So there's so much, and that's just scratching the surface. I mean, because really, in a safety person, let me ask you: have they thrown in something that's really not safety, but figured you're the safety person, so you probably should be the person the company handles it? For instance, like anything environmental.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to that extreme.
Okay, cool.
With
Like-
environmental stuff.
So
Like-
I had one thrown at me once. Maybe this will get your gears turning.
Yeah.
They were like, our guys need their plumbing licenses renewed. You're a safety guy. Help them renew their licenses.
Right.
And I'm like, well, there is a safety section in there, but they've also got like code and discipline and all this stuff that I don't know anything about. And the answer was just help them figure it out.
Right.
Yep.
And
So do you ever have anything like
Nothing
I mean,
like-
so it's not safety, but like they're kind of like finding a way.
nothing that I can think of or pull off the top of my head.
Nobody ever got told they need to go get a
be
driver's license
ready
or
for
something.
it.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Can you go get him his 16-year-old driver's license?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
nothing like that.
Okay.
'Cause I mean, we just had to put together like a operator, just kind of renewal where
Sure.
they got some hands-on stuff. We watched a bunch of tutorial stuff. Kind of went through all the things on the equipment and stuff and how to
Cool.
run it. I mean, but I feel like that's kind of safety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So
operator
it's-
yeah, you're there.
certification.
Yeah, just an operator certification.
But usually they
rundown.
want to throw environmental stuff at you, like DNR, EPA stuff.
Nope.
Oh, you're the safety guy. You'll figure out this storm water or this erosion control, and it's like I got an OSHA 30. I got 30-hour OSHA regs. This is EPA. This is not me.
Right.
Well, who else is gonna do it? HR. You're
Yeah,
it.
That's you.
And you don't really have a choice, but I've always accepted the challenge because then I grow. When I, even though it's not human health, life, and safety, you grow when you learn other regs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I've gotten the weird ones. Boss comes in the office here, and a couple guys got pulled over in the work truck, and they were drunk, or cops searched it, found paraphernalia. They're in jail, and the truck's impounded. Fix it. I'm like, well, part of safety guy,
I got to go unimpound a truck. And
yeah, but at the end of the
Post-bail.
day, it's
Yeah.
like safety is the catch-all. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I could argue it. Like the whole situation is not safe.
yeah.
People using and driving a company vehicle, that's
Sure.
against a policy.
Right. You got to be able to look at the broad to say
Yeah.
the idea of
So
safety.
yeah, if you haven't had it yet, you're kind of the fixer sometimes,
Yeah.
or
Right.
just like the boss. He looks at HR. If I tell them to do it, they'll flip out. He goes over to like the superintendent crews. Probably if I ask them to do it, they'll flip out. I'm like, oh, the new safety guy, he'll do it.
He'll do it.
Yeah,
Right.
Of course he will.
yeah. So you grow, you learn stuff.
There
All right.
was it's technically it was just an addition, but I have had to be a parts runner several times.
Oh, sure.
You know, AJ, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm driving up. We got this big job in Ida Grove. Awesome. Those guys need a motor. I need you to put it in your truck. What? Yeah, just right in the front seat. Just drive it up to them. I mean, I guess I'm going there, but that's not my job.
Right.
Well, it's waiting over at this place. Go pick it up and then drive it over there. I'm like, ah.
And definitely have been a parts picker-upper.
Right.
But those parts are like fencing T-posts that
Right.
we need to use for barricading. Or,
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
What do
still...
they rope you into it.
They get you just to
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, it's fence. That's safety. So
Hey, you're not really doing anything anyway.
It's
Yeah, you're
fun
just
when
in your
they're
truck.
when they're not even slick about it.
Right.
They needed an empty trailer from Sioux City to Russellville, Arkansas. one
Oh,
time.
my.
hop, skip, and a jump.
So
Yeah,
it was
it's about
10-hour
45
drive.
minutes.
So they're like, Aaron, we need you to inspect this crew in Russellville. And while you're at it, can you tow the
Yeah.
trailer down
While
there?
you're at it.
Yes, sir. So
Well, and
I
there
don't
you
know if
go.
you guys ever towed an empty trailer.
It's not fun. Well,
It's
it
not
depends on the
fun.
hitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, like if you got a nice gooseneck, it might not be so bad. But if you're
Right.
stuck with like a low ball or something terrible
Yeah,
and you got to
no, it
bounce
was-
that
it
thing down
was
the
a
road in
bounce.
the
She
wind,
does what she wants.
Yeah,
ugh,
it was a bouncy trip, but
not fun.
safety guys, you get roped into all kinds of stuff, and
Right.
at some point, like, it's hard. I recommend like, you got to be helpful. You gotta be a team player, right? But
The evil in me is like, no.
Tell them
well,
no.
there is a big but there because
Now
they'll
he's talking about my big butt.
Here we
they'll
go,
get
here we
you
go.
doing so much non-safety stuff
Yeah.
that you can't do safety stuff.
Sure.
So that's like kind of a hazard for the new safety guy. You
Here's
wanna-
one I know you actually do get stuck doing. That's not all safety, but you get stuck with a lot of the online internet accounts.
Yes.
You got to do SMI, and I think you're also doing IceNet World.
Yep.
And so it's
then-
not just the safety parts.
Right.
You got to do all the parts. You got to fill in all the HR material. You got to fill in all the bidding requests, all the company contacts. You got to fill out the insurance portions. None of that safety. But because they put it as a safety prerequisite on their website, that the whole thing became your job.
Sure.
How was that learning those systems?
It's luckily we got a couple pretty awesome ladies in the office that for each kind of company. So I guess I never really got into this. There is about 4 different companies within our company.
Okay.
So we have a construction, a surveying, like a land surveying, a hydro excavation, and a 3D scanning.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
So we have, I guess you'd call them like administrative assistants that kind of deal with each
Like each
company,
individually.
and then if something were to come up through, let's say, a VETA or something
that's your newest one, right? Aved is the new big.
and I know that,
Yeah.
so we did kind of dabble with Veriforce for a little bit, but
Eh.
nothing really panned out with that. So a VETA is a really big one that we've been using. So if a certification becomes expired or something, she'll
So you're getting some help.
So she gets all that information, and then
Cool.
if she needs something from me, like whether it's
That's nice.
his actual
that's
OSHA
killer.
10 card or something, I will send that over. So that's actually really nice. So it's not just me having to deal with all that. I do
Right.
have a
Yeah, that's
kind
good
of a
that you
buddy
got
to
some
lean
help.
on.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty great.
yeah, it's very helpful. So
So since we're talking about all things new, tell us about your first, if you've done, I don't know if you've done yet, but your first time standing up in front of a group and actually teaching safety.
yeah, so
Did you have to do that yet?
Yeah, so we actually we just like to kind of go over the safety manual, company
safety-
handbook.
Yeah, I
Yep.
gotcha. Okay.
So you're talking about like a new hire safety orientation or?
So it would be kind of what we would do for a new hire. So like if
Okay.
we get a new hire, we have our safety orientation. It's go over handbook, go over the safety manual, get them all their PPE, all the basic stuff.
That's
But then throughout
like
the-
a one-person deal though, yeah? Like a one student?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sometimes if we do get 2 hires, like I said, we only have like 40
Right.
employees, so we're not super big, and there's not guys running in and out through the doors. So so we try to do just kind of a refresher on our company handbook, company
Sure.
safety manual.
Heck yeah.
So I did have to go and just kind of go over all that stuff with each company within the company.
Oh,
so
wow.
so 4 different times. But in college, I always pushed off speech
Okay.
till like my last thing ever, just because
Right.
No
I've
public
never
speaking.
really was a big fan of the public speaking
Because
stuff.
you're,
so
you're normal.
Yeah.
don't tell that to my wife.
In the good way. In the good
she
way.
will not agree with you.
Because the average person does not want to do any public speaking.
What was that? Remember the thing you and I saw, Aaron? This was in like 2018, right after I'd started, and people would like of things they would rather do versus dying. Death was actually more higher rated than public speaking. Most people would rather die than public speak.
I saw one
totally
was
believe
the
that.
top 5 fears.
Is that what it was?
You know, along with like being buried alive or burned to death or murdered or plane crash, like public speaking.
So there's like all these horrible, horrific, nightmarish things,
Yeah.
and then it's stand in front of people and talk.
And talk.
Right.
Yeah, it is though.
So
for
you
a
had
lot
to
of
do
people,
it,
it's
but
terrifying.
It's a nice introductory if it's just a low class size.
Well,
Yeah.
how'd it go?
I think it went fairly well.
Did you have fun?
Not the first one.
It's pretty nerve wracking.
It can
it
be.
Did
is,
you
and-
fake it? Could they tell?
I mean, I had to change shirts in between each one. But,
Awesome.
You know,
Nice.
I'm just
Nice.
kidding.
I
No,
love
it's-
it. No, that's the official story.
Tried to put on a brave face, but
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
and just like with anything, like I feel like practice
Yeah.
makes perfect. So the
100%,
more
yeah.
times that I can get up in front of people, and
Yeah.
the more knowledge that I can absorb into my
Yeah,
tiny
for
little
sure.
brain, that
And experiences and
more
What-
confidence. So
what about the class like 5+? You ever had to do one of those yet?
like more than 5 people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, like the handbook stuff, I think there's maybe like 18, 20.
Oh
There you
wow,
go.
that's a
Construction-
legit
construction
class.
Yeah,
guys.
that's
I
a
mean,
group
it
of
was-
people.
That's a legit class.
And I mean, it helped that I knew all of them.
Right.
Sure.
Which,
Did you have any hecklers?
you, of course.
Yeah?
I think we all know how
They're giving you the
construction
business, huh?
guys are.
All right.
little
They're
different.
perfect gentlemen.
They are
Yeah.
perfect gentlemen.
Yeah,
You are correct.
They were like, "Excuse me, sir, I have a question on the regulation." Like that.
If
Yeah.
we can spare the moment, I
Yes.
would like permission to ask you a question.
Yes.
Why does it say that when I wreck this work truck, I have to meet with you and do a report on it? Well, dude, it's,
Mine are usually very polite questions if they ask me why I'm such a butt. And I'm like, oh.
Any
yeah.
questions?
Why are
Yeah.
you so ugly?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
alright,
know.
cool.
Blame my mom and dad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we could go back to fall protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reel it
so,
back in.
so it's normal that people mess with you and
Oh yeah.
class clowns and stuff. How'd you deal with it?
Just kind of, I feel like the best way to handle that stuff is to either fire something back at them with a
I was
question.
gonna say, I thought you were gonna say fire them.
Yeah.
No, just-
no,
Get
you
out,
are
you're
an
out.
evil safety guy.
Yeah.
You've graduated.
Yeah, if you're just
Hey,
firing people
yeah.
for asking questions,
Hey,
they're like, boom.
Hey, Braeden, what page are we on? Well, you should have been following along. See ya.
HR is right
You're-
behind you.
yeah,
Fill out your
you're-
termination
You're
paperwork.
fired.
Yes.
That's rough.
But no, just I don't know. I think I'm a pretty easygoing guy, so just kind of brush
Sounded like it
off
didn't get
and-
to you too bad.
Yeah.
No, it's
Nice.
Yeah.
it would take quite a bit to get me all fired up and
Yeah.
Well, what else should we bug him about? We asked him, what he had to learn, how he's doing with new stuff, how he did with training.
Safety discipline.
Safety discipline. Have you,
I mean,
well,
you
we kinda
corrected
acted,
that
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But did you ever have to actually like write anybody up yet, or have like a meeting where you're explaining what they
did you
did
give him like
wrong?
any official documentation?
so there is one instance where so we try to go by like a verbal written suspension
Sure.
type discipline
Yeah, a lot of people do
thing.
that.
So we had this younger kid on the construction side on his application said he was an operator.
Mhm.
We kind of put him in a piece of equipment where we watched him for about 10 minutes. Like, hey, let's maybe go to like a
You're maybe
skid
not
loader
an
or-
operator.
and start there. And being kind of reckless with it. So there's his
Sure.
verbal. He started, a week goes by, he's obeying the rules, going the speed
Okay,
limit.
all right.
Everything's going great. And then repeat offender. So we write him up. Like, hey, dude, you can't be doing this. Like, this is the second time.
When you go
like,
weed,
Naughty,
did
naughty.
you have someone else, or was it you?
So it's me and then at the time it was a foreman.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So
You
just
get a
kind
little
of-
support there.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
it gets to the point where he's kind of working he's in a skid loader, kind of working in a tight little area of the work site and
Mhm.
a lot of traffic, and goes to back up. And granted, these skid loaders are nice enough where they have backup cameras.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So like you have that
Fancy.
extra
Fancy
help
Schmenty.
there, and he ends up backing into another skid loader.
Oh, man.
Same guy, all within probably a month timeline. So
Oof.
end up talking to the foreman.
Yep.
We've kind of made the decision that it was best that I think it's maybe been a Thursday, maybe take Thursday, Friday off, come back Monday.
Oh, so a short suspension.
Yeah, so the suspension's
mini
only supposed to
suspension.
be about 3 days.
Okay.
Right.
And then
You
after
know, just
that,
a couple
it's-
bucks.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
we'll
So think
Don't-
about what he's done.
don't want to put
Hit
you
him in
under.
the wallet a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, and came back Monday, worked Monday, and then never saw him again. So
No,
um,
kind of cleaned himself up there.
yes,
Kind
and
of fix itself.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's probably about to the most extreme that we've had to deal with, like
Were you-
discipline wise.
Were you
That's
prepared to
Not bad.
demote him from operator to like labor?
Yep, and talking
Yep.
talking it over with the foreman. It started coming down to like a manpower thing where,
Yeah.
and you don't want that to become a thing where you're keeping a guy just because you need the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing these things and he's starting to trend this direction towards.
Right.
Well, yeah, he backed into a skid loader this time, but who's to say he doesn't
Yeah,
back
you
over
can't- yeah.
a person? Or
Yeah.
like it could just get worse from there. So
Yeah, if you were gonna hit something, skid loader's a pretty good thing to hit.
Yeah,
'cause
it-
they're pretty tough.
yes.
Was there damage to the other skid loader?
No, just mainly ours in particular. So. they
Oh,
don't
so
do-
Oh,
he
he
hit
hit-
another company's.
And you know, now that I think
Oof.
about it, it was ours. It was another guy from our company
Okay.
in that other skid loader. But granted, they're all rentals. So
Right, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
gotcha.
But yeah, I think that's probably the most extreme
That's
disciplinary
not even
action.
that bad, man.
No, like I said, it's the guys that work there are pretty good, but I also remember they are human. Say we want to go to
That's
Chuck
awful
E.
nice of him.
Yeah, I know this is another Chuck E. Cheese plug.
Nice.
Say we want to go Chuck
We
E.
are
Cheese.
sponsored today by
Yeah,
Chuck E. Cheese, where smiles or something.
Yeah,
I don't know their slogan.
I'm not
Yeah,
even
me either.
finishing that one for you. Evil safety baby mama.
but like, just say we want to go Chuck E. Cheese 3 blocks down. There's construction site.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, now we have to walk 4 blocks to the south and then back over. It makes our life more difficult. But if we were to just cut across this danger tape here and cut our
Yeah.
time in half, like we're all like wanting that shortcut.
Yeah.
So I just try to remember that with these guys, where things may be going good for a week or two, where there's no real injuries or property damages or anything like that, but like it's coming. So
I see what you're saying. Like you're coming into the evil.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
it's
the
getting there.
The
It's,
evil is coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
if I think if you would have had a less amicable crew, you would have become much more evil much more quickly.
I think so. And then I think my other thing is I need to spend more time with you guys, because I feel like the longer I'm in here, the more evil I'm feeling. Yes. Yes.
What about like inclusion in bid meetings, big projects, schedule meetings? Like, are you getting included in any of those?
So not so much the bidding of jobs, but
Right.
Every Thursday morning we have we call it a power hour meeting, where it's
Awesome.
the owner, all the project managers, kind
I
of
would
all the
have
management.
so much caffeine in my system getting ready for power hour.
Yes, power hour. 7 a.m. power hour.
I just storm in with dumbbells. Like, let's do
Yeah.
this.
Uh,
AJ, sit down. Like, I can't physically.
who
Do
who
they-
invited AJ?
Do they give you a time to talk, or they go, safety, you got anything? Or?
Yep. So
Dude, that is
cool.
awesome.
yeah, and
It's way cool.
they just recently did this. It's probably been probably 6 months now that
Mm.
they've kind of let me kind of join in on those.
Nice.
And
That's so cool.
it's where they kind of go over the logistics and money and for the
Right.
week, how the week went.
Oh, that's
many
something we've
hours?
discussed plenty of times. Is
Yeah.
people they'll forget
Yeah.
how much safety could cost them. You're going to be looking at the PPE charges, the costs. Whether we need additional harnesses for this job, or you're going to need
self-retracting lanyards.
yeah extra tying off equipment, or just more hearing protection for maybe everybody's going to be running heavy equipment. You're going to have no labor, so everybody's got to have fresh gear on every day. So
Right.
yeah, you being able to point that out ahead of time for them is going to go, oh well, we better include that extra several $100s in gear before we get going on this job.
Right.
That way later you don't look like a turd going, well, you should have just invited me. I've got to do that before. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, and that's been really nice just to be a part of that. And then there is a little 5 minutes. I mean, 5 minutes out of an hour is not a lot, but it is more than
Oh yeah.
0. So
yeah, seat at the table and a voice at
yep,
the table.
they do a little
that's all you could ask for.
safety check-in and
That's awesome.
kind of go over how many site inspections I did that week and did I see
Findings
anything?
of 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
there any
awesome.
trends that
That's
are?
really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really cool.
they've
It's
kind
good
of-
to hear. It's refreshing, really.
Yes.
Yeah. The world out there is not a dark and scary place for all safety people.
Yeah,
No,
Hey, there's
not
some.
at all.
there's some enlightened companies on the planet.
I like
Right.
it. This is it's
got
it's
safety
feeding
a
a
part
little
of it.
hope. It's mostly being swallowed by the evil, but
It
there's
is.
a
It
little sunlight coming through.
Yeah.
I learned a cool fall protection trick from Braeden for trenches.
Oh yeah.
Trench fall.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Isn't that weird?
It's cool.
Yeah. So they use these things called like jersey barriers,
Okay. Yeah.
Jersey block, Jersey
jersey
barrier.
blocks,
Mhm.
and they have an anchor point attached into them, and they're able to move them around with heavy equipment
Yeah.
because they're insanely heavy.
Right.
And they're able to set it not on the wall of the trench, obviously, to make a trench collapse, far enough away where it's safe. And then if people needed to be within 6 feet of that edge, they have an anchor point right there.
What?
Yeah, and because at one of the sites we were
That's pretty
working
cool.
at,
Yeah.
we were trying to dig a vault for this electric company that we were subbing for,
Mhm.
and I mean we're going 19 feet deep. Like we going deep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, you
uh-huh.
fall into that. That's going to be a serious
hurt.
damage.
yeah, it could hurt. And we're out in the open,
Mm-hmm.
old cornfield. You know, they're
Yeah.
building this brand new facility, and nothing really tie off to. So they brought in these jersey blocks and got these anchor points on the top of them that we're able to attach to. And
That's
if you're
awesome.
going inside our barricade, like you need to make sure you're wearing your fall arrest system, your fall protection, and you're tied off. And that's what we were using. And then it's just easy as bring a piece of equipment over, transport it over to the next one, and
That's awesome.
go from there.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
It
Yeah,
was,
very
it was
cool.
pretty neat.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on to our podcast today
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
talking about, your experience and what it's like to be a new safety person. I don't think people understand the depths of it and the difficulties and the learning curve that goes into it. They just think safety is the cush job where you walk around with a clipboard and,
Oh yeah. The thing I get told all the time is must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Must
Yeah,
be nice. I'm like,
nice.
yeah, it's great getting screamed at for a living.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. So we really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, man.
And
Absolutely.
appreciate the work you're doing, and you're on your way to becoming a evil safety dude.
I didn't miss it this time.
Yeah. So,
Q's last week? No, couldn't keep up. Wasn't there.
So yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been a pleasure. So for Mr. AJ Hanscom, I'm Aaron Icino. We are the
Evil safety hot
dudes.
mamas. What?
Let's do it with Braeden.
With Braeden?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
can get in on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
we,
the.
we do a little pause before, so
Yeah,
you catch
you
it.
gotta
All right.
go.
All right, for AJ Hanscom, I'm Aaron Icino with Braeden. We are the
Evil Safety Dudes.
Until next time, everybody, stay safe.